What's going on, beautiful people? So look, y'all, I really sat on this video before I made it. I took notes about it, so on and so forth. And I really wanted to talk about this topic because I feel like society has a skewed perception of what masculinity really is, or what being masculine is. And when I say society, I mean both men and women. The word masculinity or masculine has been there's been a lot of negative connotations that have been associated with that word, that have a lot of people wanting to stray away from the word or thinking that that word is a negative thing, right? And I just want to clear up some confusion about what real masculinity is. Being masculine does not mean being an asshole, right? But you got a lot of young men who think that is the way to be masculine because they've seen that type of masculinity within their household or within their neighborhoods, so on and so forth. And you got a lot of young women who think that, you know, that's what the identity of masculinity is, and that's why they want to disassociate themselves away from it. And that's why they think it's like a word that kind of makes them cringe at times, right? Because a lot of men boast about being masculine, so on and so forth. Like I said, being masculine does not mean being an asshole. It does not mean being a ruthless, emotionless brute who is rude and obnoxious, right? Because I see individuals conducting themselves in that manner and think that they are basking in their masculinity. But that is not what the true essence of manhood and masculinity is. It's really not. Masculinity is being accountable, being responsible, being a leader of your household, being a leader of your community, sticking to your morals, principles, values, and ethics, no matter what, right? Not reverting away from that for popularity, for for likability, so on and so forth. Not diverting away from that for any type of riches, any type, or even just a woman that you really desire, right? I think a lot of people just get masculinity confused. Being masculine ain't about making your woman feel like she's your enemy. That's not what being masculine is about. It's about creating a safe haven for her and you to love each other in a way where y'all can have a bond. And she knows if you criticize her, it's coming from a place of love and a place of understanding about what needs to change, right? Not about making her feel like you hate her, making her feel like she is the worst thing brought into society, or making her feel like she is just bringing down the destruction of the man, in particular the black man, right? And this really too, I'm really speaking on, when I say masculinity too, really, I'm really speaking to black folks and in the black community, black masculinity. You know, being masculine is being masculine is being able or being vulnerable enough to express your emotions to your woman, but at the same time, knowing not to stay in your feelings every minute of the hour, because things have to get done and you may have to guide your woman or your children through their own feelings at times, right? And I'm not saying that a woman just always needs a man tutelage or whatever, but it's times where you may have to guide your woman through her emotions at times, because women have been known to be more attached or more in tune with their emotions than men, right? So there's nothing wrong with showing emotions. There's nothing wrong with showing vulnerability and showing that you have emotions, that you have feelings about things, right? Now, a woman just don't want you in your feelings all day long, every minute of the hour, every second of the day, because that will prevent you from getting things done, and at the same time prevent you from leading your household, whether it be your woman or your children, in a direction of prosperity, in the right direction, right? But I really do want to reiterate that being angry and being emotionally unavailable is not a masculine trait. I repeat, being angry all the time and being emotionally unavailable is not a masculine trait, right? Being masculine is about holding your people accountable, both man and woman, right? But it's not about belittling women consistently to make them feel like they're less than. I see a lot of individuals in the YouTube sphere, in the YouTube game, belittling women at every turn, and then thinking that makes them feel like they are on the top of the earth, making them feel like they are at the pinnacle when you belittle and down talk a woman in every single one of your videos, and it makes you feel like you're on a higher totem pole, right? understand, no man or woman is above a reproach at all. Everybody should be held accountable, both men and women. But it's not about belittling women every second of the day and making them feel like they're less than every time. Like making them feel like they're less than. Like, come on. It's not. It's not what being masculine is about. Being masculine is about what I said, holding your people accountable, both man and woman. Being masculine does not mean taunting men who are not like you in order to make them feel minuscule. I see that all the time on social media. Now again, when you see me talk about certain men, I'm talking about men who do things that lead to the downfall and the destruction of our community, right? When I talk about gang activity being like idiotic behavior, so on and so forth, and all that type of stuff. When you see dudes toting guns and teaching their sons how to be gun-toting dudes, so on and so forth. Yeah, I am not taunting them, but making them feel bad about not aligning themselves, making them feel bad about not aligning themselves with the true principles and values of manhood, rather than not being like me. It's not about them not being like me. It's about them not being responsible adults, not being responsible people, and men who young children can look up to and admire. That's what that's about with me. You know what I mean? 1 second, y'all. Oh, okay, cool. Thought I almost had something going on, but yeah. Being masculine is also about rising to the occasion when you're called upon, and even when you're not called upon, right? And that means when you see, I saw this quote, right? And you see young kids in your neighborhood running around acting wild. These are young kids that play with your children on a regular day basis. Being masculine is trying to lead that young brother away from the path of destruction and putting your hand on them. I'm not saying physically harm them, but I mean, reach out and touching them, letting them know, listen, that's not the way to go. Guiding them in the right direction to stray away from destruction. Even if that's not your child, even though that child is not within your household, even though that child is not within your family, right? You may not be called upon to guide this child in the right direction. You might not be called upon to rise to the occasion to give tutelage to that young man. However, but you should rise to the occasion, because it is your duty to know, hey, these kids are people that are around my kids. That's a young black boy. I got to help to guide him in that direction, whether he in my household or not. You know what I mean? If I can try at least. And that's what masculinity is about, right? I also said being masculine does not mean taunting men who are not like you and making them feel minuscule. You see men on social media, because that man ain't like you. You try to make that man feel like he's not worthy. He doesn't have value in society because he may not have the exact same mannerisms, the exact same demeanor, the exact same method to doing what you're trying to do. As long as the end goal is the same, his method could be different from yours. His demeanor can be different from yours. His approach could be different from yours. As long as he ain't hurting nobody and disrespecting nobody, what's the problem? But you got other guys, people call it the manosphere, and on YouTube they talk about, being a man, so on and so forth. They try to make other men feel less than for not walking the same way that they walk, for not talking the same way that they talk. And that ain't cool. For example, you got certain men clowning Russell Wilson for the way he talks and the way he runs his household and the way he conducts himself and the way he may wear certain clothing. People trying to belittle him for that. You don't belittle that man for not walking, or don't taunt that man for not being of the same exact ilk as you, or being cut from the exact same cloth as you. Every man is different, but as long as that man is a valuable man, that's an asset to not only his family, but to his community, and he's helping people that's outside of his own household flourish, don't criticize that brother. Leave that brother be. That's what being masculine is about, right? Being masculine is not about being like ultra aggressive and violent beyond measure, but it's about being a protector and defender of your village, right? Being a protector and defender of your village. When a threat is encroaching, being a protector and defender of your village being not only your wife or your woman, not only just your children, but when you got another person in your neighborhood, in your community. I'm a black man. It's a child predator in my community. I'm not just worried about my children being protected. I'm worried about every children in the block, on the neighborhood, in our community being protected from that individual who lives a heinous and foul life. That's what being masculine is about, right? It's not about just being ultra aggressive and ready to fight and ready to just shoot and kill and all that ignorant bullshit. That's not what being masculine is about. It's not about trying to hold another man at every turn. Excuse me for lack of better words. That's not what being masculine is about. Being masculine is about being a hunter and a gatherer. But it is also about administering. It's about giving out love, friendship, and loyalty. That's what being masculine is about, right? That's what that's about, man. Yeah, administering. Administer. Yeah. So to be masculine is about being able to administer love, friendship, and loyalty. That's what being masculine is about, man. Sometimes being masculine is also about being a leader who leads by example, right? Just leading by example, not criticizing every single walk. Like you said, oh, that man don't do something the same way I do it all the time. It's about, you know what? Sometimes being masculine is about, I'm going to just lead by example and let other individuals see me as an example of how to conduct oneself in and out of your household, right? Being masculine is about saving people that ain't come from your stock, like I said before. Whether it be the small young boys and girls that come from your community and your neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's about saving those individuals that ain't come from your stock, that ain't come from your house, that ain't come from you, that ain't come from your family. Being masculine is about doing things you don't want to do because you know getting it done can make the world of a difference for your family, right? I repeat, being masculine is doing things you don't want to do because you know getting it done can make the world of a difference for your family. That's what being masculine is about, man. Being a man, like this is another key thing. Being masculine ain't about how much sex you can have. Even though men love sex, for sure. But it ain't about how much sex you can have. And this is one, I always feel like this. We should never, as men, being masculine, should never be about teaching our sons that sex makes them a man. Right? Having sex makes you a man. Having sex with a girl make you a man. I've seen that harm my community and create a ton of absentee fathers in the process. I will never preach that to my son that having sex makes you a man. Any goofball can have sex and make a baby. But being masculine is raising that child, nurturing that child, and being there for that child no matter what your circumstances are. That's what being masculine is about. Being masculine is a positive thing and not a negative connotation. However, like I said, so many people have gotten the game twisted by spewing these false narratives about masculinity, which have led to many conversations or discussions about toxic masculinity, because a lot of men got the game, what we call fucked up, thinking that being masculine is being a brute, being emotionless to your woman, being closed off to your woman and to your significant other, being a person that's just an asshole by nature, being a person that's just super just bullheaded and extremely obnoxious at times. That ain't what masculinity is about, man. Again, being masculine is not about being an asshole. It's not about being obnoxious. It's not about being extra aggressive or misogynistic. Being masculine is about intelligently loving and protecting your family, protecting your dignity, protecting your integrity. It's about being selfless. It's about being responsible. It's about sacrificing. But also being masculine is about realizing it should never, let me rephrase this. Being masculine is about realizing your masculinity should never be used as a crutch to be a tyrant in your everyday life. I repeat, being masculine is about realizing your masculinity should never be used as a crutch to be a tyrant in your everyday life. You shouldn't use your masculinity as a way to be a tyrant in your household, to lead with fear in your household where your woman is afraid of you, where your children are ultimately afraid of your every turn in the household. Now, I always say, all children should have a healthy fear of their parents instilled in them, right? Not like oh my God, I'm scared to even breathe by my father. I'm scared to breathe by my mother. I'm scared to ask them things. But a fear like I'm scared to play with them in a certain manner because I know what the consequences and repercussions are going to be, right? But some men think that ruling their household involves using their masculinity as a crutch to be a tyrant, to be a ultimate supreme dictator to the highest degree, where everybody is just afraid of you and what you're going to do at the moment something happens that you don't like, or at the moment that somebody disagrees with one thing that you say. Some men use their masculinity as a way to be a tyrant, and that's not what that's about. Being masculine is recognizing that, never use is about recognizing that you shouldn't use your masculinity to be a supreme dictator who is not. Again, you should lead your household as a man. All men should be leading their household without question. You know what I mean? And you should be following the manuscript of God for sure, but you should be leading your household for sure. But it ain't about making your woman coward to you. You know what I mean? It ain't about making your kids coward to you. It's about leading with love. It's about leading with sacrifice, protection, and selflessness. All in all, man, that's what masculinity is really about, despite the negative or false narratives going around. Machiavelli Mills TV, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments in the comment section below. I'm out. Peace.